Welcome, friends. Welcome back to the kitchen. Welcome back to a segment that's quickly becoming what was on sale at the grocery store today. So I went to the grocery store this morning wondering what I was going to cook for supper, and they had ribs on sale. 2 racks of ribs cryovac together. I'm only cooking 1 rack tonight for dinner. The other rack I've put in the freezer for a future date. So I've got about 5 hours until I need to put these in the oven. Yeah, I'm going to cook them in the oven. Before I need to put these in the oven to cook them for supper. So I'm going to put a little bit of a marinade on them, stick them in the fridge. And the reason I'm not barbecuing tonight is kind of twofold. Freezing rain and drizzle outside. It's pretty miserable. And also, not everybody has a barbecue. And I know that I wouldn't argue at all, the best way to do ribs is on a barbecue or in a smoker. Fantastic way to do ribs. But you can get pretty good results from an oven. And if an oven is all you have, then let's do it. So for the marinade, I have some brown sugar. To that, I'm going to add allspice, black pepper, salt. I'm going to crush in some garlic. Next, I'm going to put in smoked paprika. Now, oh, that was really full. Now, you could use regular paprika. You don't have to use smoked paprika. I kind of think that smoked paprika brings a little bit of a smoky flavor that you're not going to get by not doing it on a barbecue. If you wanted to, you just switch this out with some other spice that you really like. I mean, another option for this would be chipotle chili. It also has that spicy flavor and that smoky flavor. In fact, probably side by side, a lot of people wouldn't be able to tell you which was which. But play with that spicing. You don't like allspice, put something else in. The spicing is where you can really sort of make it your own. The basics for this are sugar, salt, acid. And for the acid, I'm going to use vinegar. But we're also going to put in some lemon zest. And if you don't have a use for the juice inside the lemon, put the lemon juice in. Use that acid. So before I put the vinegar in, I'm gonna zest this lemon. So that's the zest of 1 lemon. I do have a use for the lemon juice. This lemon juice will show up on the next episode of Cocktails After Dark. So I'm gonna put in a splash of vinegar. I'm using apple cider vinegar. Doesn't really matter. A couple tablespoons, just enough to loosen this up. And we'll mix that all together. So the next step is to prep your ribs. For me, prepping the ribs was just putting them in this container so that I can pour the marinade over top. I only take the membrane off the backside about half the time. And I'm kind of torn on whether to take it off or not. And, you know, some people are adamant it always has to come off, always, 100% all of the time. I'm not that guy. Sometimes I like to leave it on because I like a little bit more structure to the ribs. I'm actually kind of the person who also likes to chew the membrane off the back of the bone. I'll own that. So I'm leaving it on. So the next step is just to pour the marinade on and rub it all over the ribs. Okay, so I'm going to stick these in the fridge to marinate 4 or 5 hours, and I'll meet you back here when we're ready to cook. Okay, sheet tray goes down, and the ribs go on top. You can put foil down on your sheet tray if you want to keep it nice and pristine, because this will mark it up. You could pour a little bit of the marinade over top if you want to. I do want to, just because it makes it nice and roasty. And this goes in a preheated 325-degree oven for about 90 minutes. Okay, ribs out of the oven. And let's see, where's the bone? There we are.
Hey, Glenn.
Hey, Jules.
Hey, friends. I see you're ready. We've had the coleslaw,
Got the coleslaw.
and now we've got the ribs.
So, these are
Sleeves up.
oven ribs. They're not meant to be anything like a barbecued rib.
No, they'll be a little drier. Not drier, but not like...
No.
Dry is not the right
Stop
word.
talking, Jules. Eat it.
Well, hot.
And juicy.
But it's not the same. Like it's... They're not dry, but they don't, like, fall apart.
Yes.
If that's the right word.
They have some chew to them. I like them with a little bit of chew.
Not
But
very
it
good.
still fall off the bone. Like that bone's clean right there.
But it's not quite as literal.
No. Or you
pretty
smoke
good.
them for a long time,
Yeah.
they can get really fall off the bone. These are really good. And I mean, it's a completely different animal than a barbecued or a grilled,
Okay.
than a barbecue or a grilled rib. It's an oven rib. It's a different animal, but it's amazing in its own way. I really like these.
Yeah, you just have to not think of them the same way. Does it still tasty?
Now, you need the sugar, the salt, and the acid. The acid could be the lemon juice or the vinegar. The spicing, the flavoring that you add to it, could be anything. That's wide open, right? I used a couple of things that I really like on it. It brings the flavors that I want, but you could come in here and you could change that flavoring into anything.
What kind of vinegar did you use?
I used apple cider.
Okay. I
And
was
I
going
put-
to
I
say,
put
there's an
some-
apple flavor to it. Like
I put some lemon zest in there.
That's pretty good.
So play with the spicing. Now let's go sit down.
I was going to say, that's going to go really well with the coleslaw. Why are we still here?
These are amazing. I don't mean to say I don't want to stand and talk to you all night, but I'm going to eat. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.